Hey guys, Craig with Single Length School, and welcome back, or if this is your first time to the channel, thanks for stopping by. In today's video, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to give you some of the best golf tips you will ever have that's going to have you hitting the ball longer and straighter. So let's dive in. All right, before we dive into the tips, if you haven't done so, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the notifications bell right beside it, and at the end of this video, if you like it and this is going to help your game, give me that big thumbs up, hit that like button. Don't forget to check us out on social media. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and singlelengthschool.com if you guys want private lessons, find our deal of the day, different things like that. Check us out over there. So, as I said, I'm going to give you a tip today that in about 10 minutes has the potential to drastically improve your golf game. And it has nothing to do with your swing setup, the way you swing. These tips are going to help you regardless of whether you're a single playing guy, whether you're a traditional swing guy, any of those. These tips are all things that happen within the body, within the setup, and at the beginning part of the swing that's going to be able to help you hit the ball longer and straighter. And it doesn't matter what club it's with. It can work with an iron, it can work with a driver, it can work with your woods. So let's start with the first part of the tip. And the first part of the tip, we're going to be looking at the grip you want to put on the golf club. Now, I don't care if you're a guy that interlocks your fingers, overlaps your fingers, 10-finger grip. It doesn't matter. I'm okay with whatever grip and however you want to connect your hands that you want to do. But what I want to look at is a couple things. One with your left hand and one with your right hand. Or for lefties, it's going to be reversed. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at is the top hand on your grip and how you grab the club with that. Now, I'm a right-handed player, so it's going to be my left hand. For you lefties out there, it's going to be your right hand. But the first thing I want to do is show you how most guys do it. Most guys are gripping in the palm of the hand. They go like this, and then they close their fingers. The problem there is that restricts the amount of lag and club head speed you're going to be able to generate. So what I want you to start working on, and what I want you to try, is to take your grip from somewhere in there to actually in here, kind of right in your fingers. So if you think of it, when you hold a bucket or you're carrying something with a handle, you don't hold it in the palm of your hand like this, you hold it in your fingers. And so I want you to grab and grip with your top hand just like you would hold a bucket or whatever you're carrying. So that's how I want you to handle the top hand on your grip. Now let's talk about the bottom hand on your grip. For you righties, it's your right hand. For you lefties, it's your left hand. So again, we want to lay the grip in the fingers and then wrap it around. Now what I see a lot of times is guys will get this thumb really close to the hand. I want you to forget about that. What I actually want you to do is get that grip in those fingers and wrap it around and actually get that thumb over top of the grip. I want you to actually get yourself a little gap here. And then the bottom or the pointer finger, I want you to, let's see if I can get it here. Instead of being right here with everything else, I want you to spread it down just a little bit. So that when you take your hand off, it actually kind of looks somewhat like a question mark. You've got a little gap there. That's what your bottom hand should look like. So again, as far as the grip goes, your top hand across the fingers, and then your bottom hand in the fingers, that pointer finger down, and that thumb wrapped around. Now what that's going to do, guys, is that's going to help you control that club face. So when you're like this, it's harder to get your hands to control that club face, whereas with this grip, especially your bottom hand, you're going to be able to keep that club face closed because 90% of the guys I work with, their miss is a slice. And my guess is yours probably is too. Now, you could be one of the 10-15% of guys I talk to that have a hook, but same thing, guys. We still want to handle the grip the same. So your top hand, left hand for righties, right hand for lefties. The top hand on your grip is going to help you generate more speed. Your bottom hand is going to help you control the club face a little more. So that's part one with getting longer stroke or getting longer hits with your irons, with your drivers, and helping to keep it straighter. Now, part two, and again, as I said, it doesn't matter if you're a single plane guy or you're more of a traditional swing guy. Part two is also going to help you keep that club face square and hit straighter and get more distance. So one of the biggest things I see with guys is their front wrist. So your left hand for righties, your right hand for lefties. I see a lot of guys want to do, when you get back here and you start getting your wrist involved, I see a lot of guys want to kind of bend their wrist at 90 degrees. So what I'm talking about is if you hold the club straight out, you're actually on your backswing, you're taking your hand and your wrist and you're bending it so as if the club would go straight up. Now, what does that do? If you guys watch here, and I'm going to kind of get a little bit closer here, but if I do that and I go on my backswing and I go like that, now I want you guys take a look at where my club head is and how open my club head is as I'm coming through because of that wrist angle. So if that club head is open like that, then what are you going to do as you come through? You're actually going to keep that club face open and create a slice tendency. So rather than work and get your wrist moving up and down, what I want you to do is try and get your wrist to understand to bend left and right. And what that's going to do is that's going to help keep the club face square. So one of the drills I want you guys to do is get that grip on, and then I want you to take your stance, and the first move I want you to make is actually get your front hand to bend side to side. So kind of get that front hand to bend out right off the bat. And when you bend it sideways, you're going to feel it pull kind of right here on the back side of the wrist. But if you can do that, and let me just show you, but if you can do that and you get here in your swing and now you start your down through, look at the difference in my club face. Look how closed it is. So if I take my wrist and actually go this way, like we started, look at that, and now look at that. Look at the difference. That's a huge difference. That's going to help you square up that club face at contact, hit a straighter shot as opposed to leaving it open and giving yourself a slice tendency. So again, guys, with the wrist, I don't want you going like this in your backswing. I want you going like this. Now, when you get back here, if you've got this wrist going this way, it's still going to want to come this way, but because you're creating a flatter wrist, you're going to be able to control the ball a hell of a lot better than what you are if you're just going with a straight bowed wrist back here, a side-to-side angle. I get it. It's going to be uncomfortable, but once you start seeing the results, you're going to thank me later. Now, the final part in the backswing that's going to help you hit it straighter and longer, the wrist is going to help you hit it straighter. To hit it longer, what I want you guys to do, and I see this many, many times, is guys coming back and the elbows are already broke right here. If you look, the elbows are already here and bending. Now, that's not a bad thing, but if you want to create more distance, what I want you to do is actually try and keep this front arm as straight as long as possible. I want you to try and keep this arm straight until you can feel your bicep under your chin. So if you can come here and then let your wrist go, even if you start your wrist coming back, start your wrist here, get that bicep, feel like the shoulder's choking you. If you can get this left arm, or for lefties, if you can get that right arm straight under your chin, get it back there and then let your elbows go naturally, you're going to create a ton of lag on your downswing. That lag is what's going to get you the extra 5, 6, 7 yards. In some cases, some guys will even see a difference in a full club distance. So your 9-iron that may fly 135, if you can create this lag and get this arm straight, you now may see that 9-iron at 145. I've seen it. When I do this and I do it properly, my 9-iron's my 160 club. At my driving range, I've got a hole, depending on where I'm teed up, that runs about 160. If I do this right, that 9-iron's 165, 170 all day long. So, guys, again, work with the grip like we talked about at the beginning of the video. Grip in the fingers on your grip's top hand. Come under. Get that thumb over. Get that first finger out away from your hands a little bit. And then in terms of your hands and breaking your wrist, go sideways with it. Keep that club face closed. And when you do that, you may even feel like you're coming out more. And that's okay. You may feel like you're coming out more. That's okay. Your body's going to naturally get you back inside on a shallower path. But get that hand, get that arm straight, and then come through your swing. Take some time, work with this. This is something you can do at the house, do outside. Just watch your height on the ceilings. But get used to the wrist, the grip, and getting that elbow across. I will tell you, I've been putting these into play. They kind of fell apart over the last 2 weeks. My driving consistency, my driving percentage, fairway percentage, it's been cold. I've got a foot of snow outside right now. I did get to the range a little bit. I will tell you, my drives, I have a target I look at. It's between a flag and a bunker. It's about 20 yards wide. I'm averaging 80% with a distance of about 290 to 300 on drives after making these changes. So with the wrist, the extension, and the grip. So I'm hitting 80% of the fairways, whereas before I was probably at about 60. So that's huge. And then, as I said, my irons are straighter, they're longer. So guys, take this into account, work on this at home. You may find out this is the best golf tip you've ever had and can drastically change your game.